I want to share with you some things that I think are non-negotiables. And the non-negotiables on this path will lead us to today's topic. And today's topic is how to train your agents exceptionally well. If you're a solo producer, this is training for you. If you're in production, this is training for you. If you're privileged to have a team, this is training and development for your team. There's 3 steps that we follow. It's get, train, and retain. The thing that we have to pay better attention to, and it's not our training regimen, it's our team culture. I want you to write down the word culture, and then I want to steal a Sharonism, and I want to tell you that culture is cadence. So write down that culture is cadence. A culture are agreed upon standards in an organization that aren't violated. It's what everybody says they need to be a part of. Now, moment one is this. I'll use Pete Kaima as an example. Pete, what does your team look like today, bud? Can you, I think you're unmuted. Give me a little insight of what your team looks like today.
So we've got a total of 12 of us, 2 guys plus myself on the commercial side. The rest are all residential, 1 admin, 1 ISA.
Okay, so 8 or 9 producing agents, is that right?
7.
7, okay. 7 producing agents. Pete, how often do you train your team?
Twice a week. Every Monday at our team meeting, which we had earlier today. And then usually once a week, there's another topic. It's not always me doing the training, but twice a week.
Okay, how are attendance at those things?
100%. We don't do them unless it's 100%.
Okay. Let's pause for a moment and let's applaud Pete, because can we recognize getting 100% attendance at a team meeting? Come on, hardly anybody's doing that. But Pete, I loaded the gun ahead of time because I knew this standard that you adhere to, that everybody's all in or nothing.
We've kept it small for that reason. Like we were bigger at one time. We were up to 16 people at one point, and it really wasn't a team, it was just a group of people. So now we're very selective and kind of more part of the family. I'll give you an example. We had a girl on our team today revealed to us that she found a mass in her brain. And so our meeting today was all about family and support. And, those things matter. But when you have 16 people in the room, they don't all love each other, don't care necessarily, it doesn't feel the same way.
Yeah. This may be repetitious, but I want you to write down the rule of 3s and 10s. The rule of 3s and 10s has massive complications and opportunities in an organization, okay? The rule of 3s and 10s works like this, is when your organization goes from 1 to 3, if you're Randy Lusk and your organization goes from Randy as a solo agent to bringing on an admin and bringing on an agent partner, everything has changed. If it's just Randy and he brings on an admin, everything kind of is the same. But you bring on an agent partner now and you're a 3-person team, everything changes from time responsibilities to role responsibilities to reporting to organizing. You have to have systems all of a sudden infused when you hit 3 people. When you're 1 or 2, you can fly by the seat of your pants. But when you hit 3 people, everything changes. Not if you agree with me that all of a sudden when you get to a group of 3, everything starts to change. Well, that next change comes when you hit about 10 people. It might be 9, it might be 11, but 10 is that next mark. Pete just alluded to it. His group is 12, but they function as a team of 10. And that means, notice he said, when we got bigger, everything was different. They lost some intimacy, they lost some connection. Pete knows how to run a 10-person team. But if Pete doesn't actually change how he functions and operates, Pete can't ever run a 30-person team. And by the way, the reason why his 17 or 16-person team failed or struggled was because he wasn't willing to adapt to a 30-team environment. Does that make sense, gang? And that number goes on from 30 to 100 to 300 to 1,000 to 3,000 to 10,000. It goes on and on and on. It is one of my favorite ways to understand how teams operate. So let me say this. If you have, and by show of hands, how many of you have between 3 and 6 agents? How many of you have between 3 and 6 agents? Okay. Carrie, I'll use you as an example. Carrie, can you unmute yourself? Tell me what your team structure currently looks like.
Well, I shouldn't have raised my hand because I'm a marketing team. We're actually all independent.
Okay.
We have a shared culture, but there's not a true buyer agent. So.
Okay, that's okay. What does your current shared culture look like?
We have a shared listing process and closing process, really.
Okay.
We meet weekly on Tuesdays to kind of talk. We meet in person, talk, brainstorm, share, be in space together, which organically leads to, helping each other. We help each other on vacations. We help each other when contracts are sticky. We are partners. We're like partners is a better way to say it. But
how big is your organization, Carrie?
I used to have a team of 16. So
what does your marketing group look like now?
So there's 4 of us.
Okay. Here's what's wild. And Carrie, thank you for sharing that. And man, you got a hype person in Kaima here. Dude loves you. Carrie, I'm willing to bet you could add 4 or 5 people to your organization and the intimacy stays the same.
Yeah. And honestly, what you're saying is because I grew without intentionality. Like I had a brokerage and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And if I had done it completely different, if I had done it through Real, it would be completely different. But I tried to start my own brokerage. I tried to do my own thing. I didn't know what I was doing. I tried to create a family and it was too big, too fast, too hard, not profitable, not worth it.
Feel that. I feel that in so many ways, Carrie. If you don't get your core, these cores matter. Core number 1 is your core 3.
Yeah.
Gang, if you're taking notes, you better write this in giant bold. Your core 3 is all around your personal production. If you don't get that core right, none of it matters. You make all your money from your personal production. All the time that you want to gain back to put into your team can only be offered to them once your personal production is cooking and massively profitable. Your core 3, you and an admin, I'd even put an admin plus a VA in there and an agent partner. That core 3 or that core 4, and I don't count VAs in my full team count because it's the bodies that I see in person. I think of a VA as like hired leverage, but I don't treat it like it's in, like they're not coming to the company Christmas party.
Right.
Okay. They are so valuable, but as I think about this 3-person structure, VA is leverage for one of those people, but I don't count them as a core team member. Carrie, you were going to say.
I was going to say a VA is almost like an operating system.
Very good. Yeah. Love that delineation of it. And so this core 3 allows you to build up massive profitability, massive consistency, and culture is king here. If culture is cadence, the rhythm that you spend in your personal production and how often you meet will immediately be hijacked the moment an agent outside of that core group comes in. And here's the piece I want you to understand is if you have 1 agent outside of your core 3 personal production team, you may as well have 7. I want to say that again. If you have 1 agent outside of your core micro team, you may as well have 7, not 17, but 7, because you now will go from 3 to 10 people. And the way you operate a 5-person team is the same way you operate a 10-person team. The way you operate an 8-person team is the same way you operate a 10-person team. And I'm not telling you to bring on people just for the sake of bringing on people. A warm body that's the wrong body is the wrong body. But the right person who's willing to follow the culture that Kaima has of their showing up every time there is a team thing. If they buy in and you get that core 10 in place. First you have your core 3, that's your micro team. Then you have your core 7, that's your medium team. It goes micro, medium, mega. Micro is you, an admin, and an agent partner. Get that core right. It then goes medium. So it's you and that core team, and then up to 7 more agents. That's where Kaima is at right now. He has commercial. Commercial's a different rhythm, right, Kaima? It's a different focus. It's a different kind of thing. It's like a side job. And so it's hard to count that in the normal rhythm of a team. But here's where everything changes, gang. And I'm going to get to exactly how to train these people. But if we don't lay this out, and if we think that it's a one-size-fits-all, we are doing this so terribly wrong. If you have 7, or if you have 2, I don't care how many agents you have outside your core, if you have 2 or 7 or anywhere in between, you may as well have 27. Hear me really clearly. Pete Kaima, a medium team is all the work of a mega team with none of the financial benefit. That's an interesting call, isn't it? That the energy it takes to run a medium team is the same energy that it takes to run a mega team. It's just a matter of which hats you're wearing. You actually wear more hats on a medium team than you do a mega team, because a mega team should afford you the opportunity to have more agents, and those agents will have more leverage, more hired help, more transaction coordinating, and maybe a sales manager or somebody that's in charge of some of those oversights and those other things. And so if you don't first have the profitable core team, then you have the medium-sized team. The benefit of a medium-sized team is it's either going to make you a bunch of money or you need to burn it to the ground. And medium teams don't have enough agents to make you a bunch of money, because we should be serving agents so well that they make a bunch of money, and we have to make our margin. Hear this so clearly. A healthy real estate team should make 20% net profit. Roughly 50% of all the dollars. Let's say it's a $5 million team. 50% of those dollars go to the agents and commissions. 2.5 million of that 5 million. 30% goes to business expenses, salaries and marketing and office space and insurance and everything else. Lead generation, 30%. I can argue that you can get that number to about 20%, but most teams are at 30%. So that means that the net profit is 20%. The net profit is 20%. And if that's the case, that's $1 million on a $5 million GCI team. Would we show up to make $1 million? Yes or yes? I hope you would show up. But how many agents do you need to have in order to actually have $1 million in profit from your team? Honest question. Somebody unmute themselves or put it in the chat. How many agents, if you're Kelly Cook and you live in Scottsdale and your average sales price is $900,000 and you're a Division I college athlete, like Kelly, I have so many reasons to hate you. But nonetheless, we have to understand that even Kelly, if he wants to make $1 million on his team, he's going to have 20 or more agents. Yes?
Yes.
Or maybe 30 or more, or maybe 40 or more agents. Kelly, am I wrong? In Scottsdale, where your price point is twice the national average, you still have to have over 20 agents if you want to make $1 million from your team. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. So gang, some of us are waking up giving all of our energy and all of our time to a team that's only gonna make you a couple $100,000. The same amount of energy you're gonna give to 7 agents is the same amount of energy you're gonna give to 27 agents, but one of them has you making $200,000 and one of you has you making $1 million. Let me be quiet for a moment before I actually get into what we need to do to train these teams exceptionally well. I wanna hear takeaways, ahas, and candor from at least 3 people. What's going through your mind as I frame this and set this up for today?
I got a question for you on the micro team.
Yeah, please.
So I've heard you talk before, but the agent partner, you pay them a salary, correct? They're not on commission?
There are 2 ways in which to compensate an agent partner.
Yeah.
My preferred way is salary plus a 5%. Let me just say this. Salary plus small commission is my preferred way. The reason why is because that person is now an employee and not a 1099 independent contractor. And that means that I get to dictate and mandate exactly how their time is used. And that's my greatest chance of success. The other opportunity is you can pay them a commission. I have a video I'll post in here in just a moment. It breaks down all of this micro team model in the purest form, but it's I will die on this hill that it's the only way to run a successful real estate team is if you first have this. It's where all your money sits and waits, and all the free time you need to actually train your team well is sitting on the other side of this.
Cool. Makes sense. Thanks.
You're welcome. You hear from at least 2 other people. What's swirling and twirling in your brains as I cover this? Don't be shy. Nancy, thank you.
What if you have a team of, like I have 2 agents and I haven't been in production, but I'm going into production this year. How would I manage that? My agents are, one is a listing agent, one is a buyer's agent primarily, but they do everything.
Have they been receiving your personal sphere, your personal deals, and have you been kind of spoon feeding them?
Yes.
Okay. How much of their business do they procure themselves?
Almost none.
Okay. I think you can offer them an opportunity to come on and to be a salaried partner with you, as I was just explaining to Stephen, that they can have some stability and then they can be rewarded and incentivized to go and to build their own stuff. But I don't think that you can continue, like there comes a time, even if the 18-year-old isn't able to make it, that you got to say, sorry, you got to move out of the house, you got to make it on your own.
Yep.
But Nancy, I'm willing to bet the money that you should be making and the money that you are making is a pretty big disparaging chasm between those two.
It is.
Yeah. It only works if you are financially solvent, and you have to make that move and invite them. If you want them to still remain on your team, invite them to still receive training, environment, admin support, resources, mentorship, and guidance, but they no longer receive leads. They can fish in your pond. They can go after their own deals. You can maybe give them a couple of purchase like Google pay-per-click leads, but your hard-earned reputation business should be yours and not theirs. It is a brutal, painful wake-up call. It sounds like you continuing down this path is financially harming your family.
Yes, it is. Very much.
Yeah, it's gross out there, but I'm glad you're making some changes.
Yes, for sure.
Let me hear from at least one other person. Then we'll move on.
So Eric, if you're someone that doesn't, I mean, I think agent partner is obviously 100% the way to go. You know that from us. And how do you, though, if you're someone like we're blessed in who our agent partner is, that's, you know, that first phase for us, but how do you go about finding, because I think that's the hardest person, right? Part is finding the exact right person, because you're trusting them with everything that you've already built and kind of hoping that they, you know, take it over, or, you know what I mean? So that you can continue to grow. So what's your advice there on making sure you're hiring the right person? Because you're obviously putting a lot of time and effort into them.
Yeah. I want you to think about how a traditional real estate team leader, if I'm Aaron Etheridge and I'm hiring an agent, here's what Real Estate 101 teaches us. Hey, can you fog a mirror? And do you have a real estate license? And are you willing to log into the CRM and get some stuff done? Cool. I'm going to throw you at it and see if you can float. And I actually don't have a huge problem with that, because we spend so much time and energy early on to try to figure out, is this the right person, when really we can just throw them to it and make sure. If you throw that person to your old database, it doesn't cost you much. It can cost you culturally, and that's a totally another story, Andrea, but it doesn't cost you much. If you throw that person new leads, new at-bats, new opportunities, new referrals, it can cost you so much financially. Again, I'm only talking about dollars and cents costs. I'm not talking about environmental costs, which are even bigger and more convoluted. But if you're going to hire an executive assistant, the person that's going to be your right hand, the person that's going to be running your QuickBooks and cutting the checks for you, and you're going to go through like 5 interviews with that person, and you're going to do a background check on that person, and you're going to make sure that they're an unbelievable fit for the responsibilities that you're going to give them. The people that we spend the most time with are not our spouses and our kids. It's our right-handed person at our co-working space, right? And so we need to be diligent on making sure that person's the right fit. And you and Brad, you hired your nephew to be the agent partner. You knew what you were getting before you had to sign up, so you didn't have to go through all the aforementioned. But if you're Stevie looking to hire your first agent partner, you're going to make sure that you actually don't hire like it's another agent and you hope they make it. You do much of the legwork ahead of time to make sure that this person is a cultural fit. To make sure that this person, and by the way, if culture is cadence, calling this person a cultural fit means that they are moldable clay, that they're going to show up and be the perfect complement to you, that they're going to be coachable, that they're going to listen, that they're willing to follow a blueprint and a plan.